Welcome to Leadership Energetics. The power of appreciation in leadership is mind-blowing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first started doing an appreciation list with my friends, for my clients, for my family, for myself, for my life, for the things I have, I felt like I had like a spiritual buoyancy of protection. So every single time I went out in public, it was like I felt more centered, more balanced. It was so much easier to communicate, to say what I want to say the way that I want to say it. It was also so much easier to have positive thoughts. It was like I didn't have to meditate so much, I have to do so much breath work. It was like that appreciation list and that gratitude, that energy exchange, which is all business and everything in life is, would then shift my timeline, because that means that everyone that I was sending that positive energy to, that energy must come back to me either through that person or through someone else. And also, not only is it beneficial that I get the appreciation back, it's also beneficial because I'm giving out appreciation. So I'm training my mindset to seek the best in people, seek the best in myself quickly. It's a skill. And in leadership, that's a really powerful skill, because your job is to lead people. Your job is not to just get from A to B, but it's to lead people to rise to be their best version. So having that level of leadership and having that understanding that your job is not to dominate, to control. Your job is to take care of the people that you are leading. When you have the right heart posture, when you have the right mindset, leadership becomes effortless. It becomes like ease, because you're no longer trying to control the situation, which takes a lot of energy, which is placed externally. And where attention goes, energy flows. And the basics of being able to have more magnetism, to be the leader that's naturally leading effortlessly and influencing with ease, is by having energetic boundaries. And to have energetic boundaries, I don't know why I'm flowing so much today, but I'm loving it. But to have energetic boundaries, you need to be able to, first of all, know what your energy is. And through doing these appreciation lists, like 1A4 piece of paper, I just write everything I appreciate from a person in my life. And I do them consistently, daily. Sometimes it's repetitive, sometimes it's not, but regardless, it's just bringing that up to my consciousness and choosing what I place in my consciousness. Instead of being automatic and unconscious, by allowing the experience to train me, I train the experience, and I set the tone by doing these appreciation lists. This means I set the vibration, I set the vibe before. So if I'm consistently doing this, I'm training energetically the people around me, because distance isn't a thing with energy. Everything's happening here right now. Every single time you have a thought, a positive or a negative, not to give you pressure, but just for your awareness, you are affecting everything that's around you in your field. That's how manifestation works. We are all interconnected at all times here and now. So it's like, it's not about waiting until you meet that person, do that appreciation list. It's not waiting until the future. It's just doing it now. Now. And that's so beautiful, because it brings the power to your hand, because you realize everything is happening here and now. Everything is happening here and now. So suddenly you start to realize that leadership isn't about leaving things till later or relying on things you've done in the past. It's about always taking ownership and action that you can now. Don't leave things till later. I think the best habit you can ever have as a leader is to understand the compound of your choices. And so the more you start to build positive habits, the more it'll be easier to build them in the future, and the more the result will compound. So doing these appreciation lists for yourself, always, and others, daily, will shift you to a higher timeline, because the journey you'll be put into will be a positive journey, where maybe you're speaking to someone that reminds you of a person you did an appreciation list. If you didn't do that appreciation list, something that they did that triggered you, you'd respond in a certain way. It might even affect another relationship that had nothing to do with that person, because it triggered something that you had with another person. But if that other person, you did an appreciation list for them, and that same trigger shows up that they did to you in the past, you're going to respond differently. With the new relationship, you're going to build beautiful rapport, and you're going to transcend that pattern, that test, whatever you'd like to call it. But essentially, that energy will be exchanged to a high energy. The energy you're bringing to space is a high positive energy. And just like anything in life, the more you do something, the better you get at it. And the better your skill becomes, the more depth you're able to touch into the practice. So it's the same thing with these appreciation lists. The more consistent you are, the more depth you're able to reach with them. And also you start to build better, healthy relationships. I mean, when I started doing these appreciation lists, I started receiving more miracles, better relationships, better treatment, more gifts, also more depth of understanding for the people around me. And the biggest surprise was I started having more love for myself. Because every single time I noticed something they were doing right, most of the time I was doing the same thing correctly too. So that was a really beautiful perspective shift where I started bringing light and love, which is awareness and consciousness, to my experiences, where no longer was I reacting so easily and with impulses, but I had more space and breathing room to respond. Okay, so that's our video for today, and the importance of appreciation lists in leadership. I think wherever kind of leadership you're in, this will change the game for you. I call it grid work. When you do these appreciation lists, what you're doing is grid work. So think of the network. There's a beautiful image that's used, which is like a web, right? A web usually is a representation, a symbol for a network. A network is a connection, it's the people you're connected to in your network. So when you're doing grid work, you're working the grid of your network. And so that means every single time you start to improve in your skills, social skills, improve on your leadership skills, improve on your appreciation and the energy you're sending to people around you, from the way you're relating to that individual, your point of attraction, you're doing grid work, which is phenomenally powerful. So that's the thing about leadership. It is not about ego. It's a lot about soul, because ultimately the ego is a survival protection mechanism that overlays the true self that is the person, the soul. So if you consistently try to just communicate with people's ego by trying to impress them, by trying to show them you're the strongest, you're the most powerful, nothing wrong with that. But if you just live on that aspect, you are literally missing the true place for connection, the juice, the where you really influence people and you really make quick, true, permanent transformation in people's lives, which is their soul. Because their soul is their true self. Everything else is something that's to protect that. So you want to relate to someone to the person who you're truly talking to, not to who the person is pretending to be, because that's not going to really make them feel something, and people only change when they feel something. Okay, so I'm on fire for you today, baby, and that feels great. And I've been wanting to do these videos so much. I haven't been in the past few days, but then it's been in the back of my mind, and now that I'm doing it, it's like this volcano of energy exploding. It's so beautiful. So just remember that you showing up consistently to these appreciations, setting the tone, is your responsibility as a leader. If you are the one that's taking the first step, if you are leading the way in whatever you're doing, if you are the one that's leading, you need to lead the energy, because everything ultimately is energy, and then it manifests into matter, material, and solid experiences. So when you work at the root of it, you start to create positive experiences that will feel like magic to people, will be otherworldly and etheric to other people, but to you, you'll know that's just how reality works because you watch leadership energetics. So continue to do the work. Keep up appreciating yourself first and foremost, because you gotta remember that you gotta lead your own energy before you think of leading anyone else's. You gotta be able to know how to even do that to yourself first. Master that with yourself first. Get rid of the limiting beliefs, or like, I can't love myself too much. It's not okay to love myself in that way, because it is. It's okay to abundantly love yourself. There's no such thing as a limit to how much you can love yourself or others. Get that out of your mind. Okay? It's not like if you are grateful and you're appreciating love someone, they're gonna go away or it's gonna ruin it. No. 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 The more you love and the more you appreciate, the better it gets. The more you are opening yourself to other blessings, other opportunities that are similar to that, because you're literally like the law of attraction. What you focus on grows. So focus on the positive aspects, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. But just learn that there is an art to this. It's not just about appreciating from a place of people pleasing. There is an art form to this, and you will learn the art form naturally, automatically. The more you practice consistently, you'll start to realize, when I do this, this happens. When I do this, this happens. Trial and error, baby, is the way. But I also do help you to reduce the amount of trial error you have to do through these podcasts, because here I am, going above and beyond these appreciation lists, which I can do so quickly and so easily, because I am leading the way for you with this called Beautiful Formula Leadership Energetics. Okay, so we're going to end the video here because I could keep going on forever, and I know you'd love that, and I know I'd love that, but I do have to go and have some food at some point. So what I'm going to do is just going to see you tomorrow whenever you tune into this channel, and I'll speak to you soon. Like the video, because when you do, I know that you're enjoying this content and I make more. Subscribe, I mean it, because I want to keep connected, you know? And also make sure to comment, because, you know, hearing from you and hearing your opinions and your thoughts really matters to me more than you think. So I love hearing from you. I will see you soon, and much love.